Christo Brandt was the prison guard responsible for guarding Mandela at Robben Island. He joins us by telephone. Thank you for being with us, Christo. You told the newspapers a couple of days ago you felt like you'd lost a father. Your relationship with Mandela stayed close long after, of course, he was freed.
That's correct.
And today, when you look at the tributes, do you feel as though it's the Mandela you knew?
That's correct. The tribute the people paid for him, that's a Mandela I knew. A humble person, down-to-earth person, a person which forced down respect to people, and a person you can trust.
A person you can trust. You were also saying that your relationship with him changed in the 1980s, in the early 1980s. Why is that?
You know, when we arrived in Robben Island, he told us we meet the biggest criminals in the history of South Africa. That was we've been enforced, and during our training we've been told. And when we land in Robben Island, we see the people with life sentences. And we see the people as not really criminals with tattoos on their faces and all that. And they dealt with us with a lot of respect, and they treat us with respect. So I was changed my whole attitude. What are these guys in for? Still I start investigating what they're in for. Then I found out what they're really fighting for. Then after a while, we start becoming closer and closer to each other, like the way I understand him.
Was it difficult to get to when you developed that relationship? How did the people around you feel about it?
You know, we was not allowed to talk to prisoners. But there was occasions when I take him to visits, because I was also working at Sense office, where I censoring his letters, arranging legal consultations, raising his visit, sit in at visits, and can listen to all his family's information which they bring him, and also stopped visit during the things which I was thinking they stopped the visit for nonsense because they're not allowed to talk about their neighbors and so on. And, you know, and then when we walked with him, he always asked you, what is your family, where are you from, what are you studying, you must study, you are the future to young leaders of this country. Even we was his enemy, he will enforce that we must really study and so on. And we could not understand why this man was supposed to hate our white people. But he was still enforcing that we must also study and understand what is going on in the country. And then we start develop some relationship between us.
And the story goes on from there. One last question for you, Christo Brandt. Today, you work at Robben Island.
Yes, today I work in Robben Island. I was brought back there after I left the Parliament because Mandela retired from Parliament. The Constitution was adopted. Then I get a job at Robben Island again, because I want ex-prison guards and ex-prisoners to work together there, tell the story about hardship, what was going on Robben Island, and about reconciliation on Robben Island. I'm running today the Robben Island shops, the tax shops around the island, and even the boat shop, where I do the buying and the ordering of the shops, and also do some tours from time to time.
Well, it's an honor to have you here in the France 24 debate. Christo Brandt, many thanks for joining us.